Elon Musk tweeted there's an attack on free speech. And I agree. Did you see what happened to Dave Chappel? On this episode of Lying and the Truth. Once again, another comic gets attacked on stage. An entertainer gets attacked on stage. I have been affected deeply by entertainers being attacked on stage. I don't know if you guys recall the guitar player Daryl Dimebag. He was attacked on stage and actually killed on stage. He was shot on stage. He was one of my favorite guitar players from the band Pantera. And at the time, he was on tour with the band called Damage Plan. That was an incredible event. I couldn't believe that happened. Life-changing. Changed music forever. From that point on, music lost this awesome person. But then there was the Democratic Gabby. She was shot in the face at a speech. We haven't done anything to stop any of this. These are people up there talking or entertaining, as safe as they could be, or as open as they can be. As will they say that as a receiver, he is in a vulnerable. The most. That's what I'm looking for. These are the most vulnerable positions they could possibly be. They're giving their voice magnetized to everybody. That's a lot of power, but also very vulnerable up there on stage. I believe Bernie Sanders got attacked one time. Somebody almost went after Donald Trump. They stopped him, though. But I can't believe we haven't done anything yet to stop this or raise the bar to a significant crime that people know, hey, you step on stage, you're committing a certain felony, because this is a free speech, so you're taking away a constitutional right. It's not the government, but you're doing it for some reason, hate, whatever it might be, but something needs to be done. Besides the fact they got that guy and they beat him down, and he looked like Mr. Potato Head, how you have to get the arms and you put it on the wrong direction, or you had like multiple arms and you put on two lefts. He looked like he had two left arms on. He was walking out, and he had like this arm like this was all fucked up. It was all bent up like this. And they didn't even fix it. They're like, oh shit, we ain't going to move that. You're fucked up. And he went out like he's beat up. He looked worse than the dude that Mike Tyson beat the shit out of. Once again, counterreact. If you're not on stage, you don't have this unaccountable free speech. If you're not on an entertainment platform, you don't have this entertainment free speech. If you're in the public talking to another person, you're not on a platform talking to the public. You're having a one-on-one altercation. So during your one-on-one altercation, or it might be 4-on-4 or 3-on-3 or 1-on-3, however it might be. You might be out there with a megaphone and said, God hates you, and you might yelling at a group of, soldiers that came by. That might be your stance. I totally don't agree with that. And, you might have a verbal altercation where you guys don't agree, and then all of a sudden you guys fight. Not agree, violence, not okay. But those are the situations that you put yourself in. If you're going to be out in just Mike Tyson's zone and get in Mike Tyson's zone and irritate him, he might punch you. Right? Fact is fact. But when you're on stage, I got a couple things to say about it. One, if you go to the titty bar, you can't complain about the titties. The expectation is the girls are going to be topless. You're coming to this area where it's adults only, uncensored. Okay? Maybe if she took a shit on you, be like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Inappropriate. Granted. But that didn't happen. Okay? You went there, she busted her titties out, and she got close to you, you busted in your sweatpants. Why are you wearing sweatpants to the fucking strip club in the first place, you pervert? Anyways. Comedy club, same thing. If you're going to pay to see comics, expect typically that it's going to be uncensored. Typically. Also, they have an obligation to be entertaining. They went there to see a comedy show. Granted, you might be a little bit crude, rude, use all kinds of language, sexual innuendos, masculinity, profane language. The idea is to have fun and leave loving everybody and laughing at everybody. That's the idea of the comedy show. Granted, I've seen many people maybe go out and make racist comments to somebody just out of their personal racism. It didn't even have anything to do with jokes, interactions. Also, we're talking about paid comics, a paid entertainment. If you're working on your stuff and you're at a venue where you're probably able to say what you want to say, know the crowd. You know what I mean? If you, in an environment where you're in a closed lock little hut, it's like a little art hop and everybody in there is locked in and you plan on being as crude as you want, that's the dungeon. Those are those areas. Yeah, those are lots of clubs. Just let it out. You know what I mean? If someone pays to see you and they know that that's your material, they've heard you before, they know that you're funny, crude, racist, whatever you want to call it, whatever your behavior is, they know that, then cool. Yeah, they expect that shit. Uncensored, unadulterated, unfiltered, blah. That's my podcast says it. Everyone. You don't know, I might be talking about dick, shit, fuck, who knows? You know what I mean? This is not for TV at all. Or it says it's for kids. I said no, it's definitely not for kids. Okay? So this is like a titty club, except for there's no titties. There's never titties. Anyways, back to what I'm saying. Boom. Mr. Potato Head, know your room. If you're at, say, a small or a public place that's more of a neutral zone, and you are a source of entertainment for this venue at the time, like a side entertainment. The venue already has things, and they're giving you an opportunity to maybe work a craft, like a lot of open mics. I can't think of like the events, but you have to know the area where you're at. Obviously, if you're in that zone, you're not going to be like, I have a couple of really crude jokes. I won't tell them at that crowd. If I want to be really rude, I can. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to tell the joke to the crowd. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Two things: protection, accountability. Know your crowd, know who you are, know what you're doing. Both. The crowd and the entertainment. Entertainment, he's there to entertain. If it's unfiltered, hey, get ready. You signed up for the titty club. Here comes the titties. You know what I mean? So, don't complain when they get the titties out. Okay? If you don't like the titties, many times, I don't go to the titty bar, so this is hyperbole. Many times people go to the titty bar and the girl is not up to par. Do you still put the money in the girl's whatever's left? Do you throw the money out there because, she's subpar titties? No. You finish your drink and you walk out of there. Whenever it's careful for you to walk out because you're wearing, sweatpants, and obviously your body's pointing in the direction that you're going. So, point being is, like I said, we need to protect entertainers on stage. Daryl Dimebag, Dave Chappelle, everybody. We need to protect entertainers on stage. They're very, very vulnerable. I don't understand. How is it possible to even get on stage in the first place? It should be like a railing or security. It seems like every time I go to a club, there's like security everywhere. It's like eyeballing me. So I don't know how that happens, especially with so many people. It's crazy too. And, granted, Dave Chappelle probably has a lot of people to pay, but it's not like there's the band. There's a sound guy, but there's a lot less people working on a comedy show than there would be maybe a music festival. So, but they still have plenty of security. So we need to step up the game for the security of all these events, especially I would say all politicians. We don't need anybody getting attacked. We don't need a crazy person looking through the mail slot. What the hell are you doing there? And acting crazy and yelling. We don't need that. We don't need protests at people's houses necessarily either. I don't think that's maybe going to be the greatest idea, but we need to definitely listen. So that was phase 1. Let's go to phase 2. Drugs and the Fresno Police Department. Yeah. So, you might have heard. What's that guy's name? Did I put it down here? I knew I should have. I'll have to look it up on the internet. Yeah, this guy, he's a Fresno PD. I'm going to look it up here on the internet. And he got busted for using drugs and being a police officer in Fresno. It happens sometimes, Man, I thought I searched this up today, but oh well. Definitely here. I'll go here. Fresno PD drug arrested cop. Okay. Boom. Oh, man, it came up so easy. Oh, never go to the Fresno B account because they give you 0 information. Here we go. Charges, robbery, DUI, drug use. Daniel, let me see here. Where's his last name? Daniel Darnell. How about that? Sergeant Daniel Darnell. He was on the force for 19 years. Let's give a little backstory. He's a cop for 19 years. What'd he do? I don't know. So that's all the backstory you got. He worked there for 19 years. I've been an electrician for over 25 years. And if I've worked with somebody for, 2 months, we're like best friends, bro. I know you like everything. If you're on the job site, and you've been on the job site for like a year, I at least know you. Yeah, I know, and I can, I'll be like, oh, that's the meth addict. Like, oh, that's the drunk, right? Smells like alcohol every day. You know what I mean? Oh, that's the guy who's racist because you can see his tattoos on his arm, and plus, shaved head. Not all of them, just some of them. Anyways, so this guy's on the force for 19 years. And then one day he pulls someone over and they have fentanyl on them. And some pills and shit. So he's like, hell yeah. So he takes the pills, drives off, pops the pills. He takes all the little drugs he can take and then crashed his car because it was fentanyl, So he got fucked up. I don't know what he thought it was. I'm not in that drug world, so I can't tell you even what it looked like. Fentanyl. I don't know if it was like a pill with an F on it. I don't know if it was a powder. It was like a lollipop. Like, I don't know. He smoked it, drank it. I don't know. Okay. He got fentanyl, all of it. He was fitting all of it in his mouth. And that's why he crashed his car. Anyways, he crashed his car, and that's when the cops came, which is crazy because he was a cop, and he crashed his car, and he's already there, but then more cops came. They're like, hey, look, our buddy's crashed. What's up, bro? And he's like, he's dying. And then they had to get him the fucking pill in his, or the syringe in his chest, or, they got the, and they put it, and it came back to life like, it was like Pulp Fiction. That must have been not so, I bet you body cam for that. They need to show that shit. Wow, man, cops, bring that back. Anyways, so this cop, like I said, then they realized, okay, he's had fentanyl. They're doing a little investigation. They realized he pulled this guy over. It wasn't like it was off a record. He's a cop. Everything's like, I think his car probably has GPS. He's probably like 417 meth addict. I'm about to pull this cop over here, or about to pull this guy over. And then he pulls a guy over, and he probably runs the plates before, obviously. Runs the plate, and the guy's like, history of drug use. And he's like, oh, score. Anyways, and so the cops arrest him. They find out he was on fentanyl. They found out he robbed a guy, probably investigated, and they got the guy he pulled over. They had his information. And he's like, yeah, he stole my drugs, bro. Can I get those back? It's like, no, sorry. He died on them. And so they do a little investigation. I think it was, I don't know who, if it was just, I wish I knew who did this investigation. Now I'm just investigating people. Attorney Lisa Smithcamp. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. She, charges will be filed against Fresno Police Department, or Sergeant Donnie Donnell. Not Daniel, Donnie. Good old Donnie, DD. Yeah, it started with a 911 caller, said police was driving erratic over curbs, crashed into a tree. Yeah, he had to get Narcan, fucking save his life, and take him to the emergency room. So, start doing a little bit of study, find out he had meth in his system. His wife was on report. I guess he had a bunch of different cases. His wife went on record stating he had 25 years of meth use. I didn't know you can use it that much. And I think he was kind of chubby. Like, how are you using meth and chubby? I don't know. I'm not in the drug world. I don't know what kind of meth he was using. Maybe he was using meth light. He was trying to work on his body. Today's people, they're always trying to be better shape. It was that vegan meth. I don't know what the fuck. Just vegan meth. Okay, anyways. So, maybe, I don't know. I'm out of the meth. So anyways, 19 years, right? So they asked the police chief, and he said he had no further information on what was going on. He values every employee, and he wants them all to be accountable. There have to be many steps to follow to fire him. That's what the police chief said. So I don't know. I've been on a job site many times, and this is not an unusual story, except usually someone didn't rob somebody. I've been on job sites where there's like hundreds of guys, and it's like really big, where guys were like just using meth and then drinking, and then they would fucking get their go-kart and crash it, bust their face up, and like, oh shit, and then they would run from the scene. Happens to be work where you work at, right? They run from the scene, get in the car, go home, and then I think come back the next day, like, hey, what happened? Oh, where's my golf cart at? He's like, and they're like, well, you got two black eyes. Like, huh? What? Car accident. They're like, your car looks good. Huh? What? So this situation happened all the time. I've known a guy one time, he was driving home from Visalia. He wasn't driving, he's passenger. And he was drinking. So he's like one of the vans, and the door was open. He's coming down the freeway, and he was drinking and drinking. He's already drunk. It's like multiple drinks. He hits a bump and drops his beer, and he kind of leans out, falls out the van, rolls on the freeway, doesn't die, breaks up his body pretty good, and then sues the company. So that one happened. So I've seen a guy knock all his teeth out. Well, he was on meth. That was pretty entertaining. We had a guy one time. He was a meth addict completely. You have to take a drug test to get to work, right? So he took the drug test, knew he's going to fail it, but thought, hey, if I can just get like 4 or 5 hours of work times I can get a couple bucks. Man, I can buy some more meth. This is a good deal. So he failed the drug test, and I said, hey, man, you got meth in your system. And his answer, he only had 2 teeth left, and his answer was, oh, man, it wasn't me. I'm dating a girl who's a meth addict, and I went down on her, and that must be why the test is from, because I went down on the meth addict. Yeah, that was a great story. We enjoyed that one on the job site. That was pretty funny. That was cool. We laughed that one up. That was great. Yeah, so it is what it is. I've seen people fucking crash all kinds of shit, man. Drugs on a job site, okay? But also, can the police department, just for like a little bit, do a little bit of random drug testing? Don't they like have like, I don't know, I can picture like the police department. There's like, You walk in, there's always like a front desk, right? And it's either like a girl or like a young white guy who just got hired, right? He's the front desk and he's got the suit on, outfit too. You know what I mean? It's like this, button up. It's got badges and shit. I've seen this many times. So you walk in the door behind you goes ding ding ding, and they say, "Can I help you?" And then that's that front person. And then over to like the left, there's like a fence, right? And that's where all the evidence is hidden. Like you can see shelves, and it's like you see on there it says evidence, but it's all locked up, you know. And it says authorized personnel only. And there's another dude by that, right? And then over to the side, there's a little place that has a little window, and it says drug test, and there's like a door, and then like a button. You go, and it takes a while for the door to open. Can you open the door? Can you open the door? You know how it does that? And then there's a drug test thing right there. I've seen many TV shows with police stations, and they look just like that. Answer person, evidence, drug test, electric button. It makes annoying noise, right? So can't that just drug test, like, just roll the dice? Like, hey, odd or even. You get odd or even. One of those, you're taking the drug test today. And, like, I want to state, one, maybe there might be some steroid use. I don't know. Could be. I'm not too sure. You know, just saying. You know, if you're at the gym a lot, you're really mad, really young, with a gun. But that's not even number one worry, okay? Let's be honest about this situation. This is why we should drug test all government employees. Why not? Getting a government check, just check you for meth, heroin, Oxycontin, that's heroin, I don't know, fentanyl, you know, whatever these big crazy drugs are that are really emotionally affected. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you're not coming to work and doing mushrooms. We don't need to test you for mushrooms. You know how we test you for mushrooms? We have a cartoon on, and if you don't leave that room where the cartoon is on, you're on mushrooms, okay? Now how we know you're stoned? You're at work doing your job. And you might be in the break room a little bit longer than everybody else. Twinkies, man? As many as I can eat? Oh, man, I love Twinkies. Man. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, drug testing. Okay, so let's talk about top 3 killers of cops. Okay, 1, COVID. Not a stance. It's not an anti-COVID mask, blah, blah, blah. Let's just talk about it. Last few years, COVID, by far, number 1 killer of police officers. Look it up. I don't give a fuck. 2, domestic violence calls. Cops show up to a call between a man and a woman. They're fighting already, emotionally, charged. The cop shows up. He's trying to de-escalate. The guy over there is not happy. Anybody's showing up. Cops are here. How'd they, bitch, call another guy to the house? Was just like the other guy showed up. Well, fuck you, bitch. And so it's like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Cop gets killed. Number 2, happens all the time. That's why in cities a lot of times now, they stop sending cops. They started sending social workers like in pairs. And they've seen, obviously, since the cop is not there, shootings and cops drastically drop. But also, social workers aren't getting shot either, because you see somebody with a clipboard, or, Debbie over there who's been working for social service for like 30 years and she got 3 kids and she's divorced, trying to do the best she can. You're not going to go shoot that bitch. She ain't doing nothing wrong. She's just trying to get home. Someone called her and said, can you pick up some milk on the way home? Then say, hey, can you get shot on the way home? I'm just trying to do my job. I heard you guys are angry. What's up? But anyways, so number 3, killer of police officers. 1, COVID. 2, domestic violence. 3, vehicle crashes and altercations. Because, 1, cops typically are on the road all the time. Granted, if you're on the road more often, you're going to get in more accidents, right? That's how it goes. Number 2, the reason why it happens more often, they kind of got the freedom to do what they want. You look at them, they're on the cell phone, they're speeding, they stop wherever, they're on a laptop, like, driving, they got the laptop like this. Driving down the road, they got the cell phone. Hell yeah, man, I'm a cop. I'll wear the badge and everything. And then, like, I seen them run stoplights, red lights, boop, boop, and they do that all the time, and then they fucking just drive over, and then they get in line at Wendy's. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of that, and I can imagine if you do that, or you feel like you have if you are the law and you kind of feel like they're but how many times does a cop use a blinker? Never. If a cop using the blinker, he's pulling you over. He's like, blinker, bitch, pull the fuck over. You know, that's usually why they're using the blinker. So if they do that more often, they're probably getting more accidents just due to the fact the rules are typically there, hopefully not to control us, but to keep us safe. So if they're doing these things, maybe they're perhaps less safe in getting put in different situations. Not to mention fucking chases, motorcycle cops getting crazy people. You know, they're fucking doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But they also innocently get hit on other situations. So, my point being is, drug test. You're in a vehicle, in the public. One of the most deadly things of all. I can imagine, I'm not even going to put this number out because I don't know. You know, cops shooting people rather than cops running into people with their cars. What do you think is more likely? If you think cops are good guys, I think they would probably hit them with cars more often than they would shoot them. Not on purpose. It's called a car accident, right? Not a shooting accident. Anyways. Yeah, so, you know, also, physical test. I mean, cops are in cars all the time. You know, I mean, can we get these people in better? Let's keep everybody healthy. I hear the Republicans talk about, we don't talk about health. Let's talk about health. Let's look at government employees. Okay, that's the easiest one to do. If you're going to work for the government, let's get you in shape. We'll give you the health care. You got health problems? Let's take care of that shit. You fat? Come on, let's run it out. You know what I mean? Let's take care of it. Hey, we're in it to win it. The better shape you're in, the less burden it is on health care. And plus, hey, maybe these cops can learn a lot of, you know, jiu-jitsu moves. They can get a little bit healthier shape. Definitely get off the drugs, like good old Donnie D over there, you know? Donnie D. Man, he's a fucking thug, Donnie D. Robbing people in his cop car. It's like fucking, what's that called? The Rookie, or what is that movie called? The Passenger, or the fucking Denzel Washington. Robbing people for drugs. Man, that guy, he ain't a thug. He's a piece of shit. Okay, yeah, COVID, traffic-related incidents, random drug test, cocaine, heroin, drugs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think I covered it all, right? I think that was it. Attack on free speech. Titty bar. Did I say titty bar yet? Hell yeah. So, what else? Check me out on TV, like, share, subscribe. There's no chance you made it to the end of this podcast, but if you did, make sure you check me out weeknights 8. You see me around sometimes. I do some stand-up, randomly. I'll surprise you when I do. I'm putting out a little something on the, I got a joke special I'm putting out. And then, like, share, subscribe. I'm out.
1976, me and Mick got on kicks. My family up on 6. I can get in the mix. I can ride all these bikes. I can get all these likes. I can shoot all these hoops. I can do all I do. I know street